Yo, it's Waffle here and welcome to another video of my Hella Loose guides. In this guide, we will talk about the artillery, or in short, arty. If you're interested in more of my current guides, future guides, or just gameplay of Hella Loose, make sure you hit that subscribe button and stay notified. In this video, we will not only talk about how to get a lot of kills on the arty, but also how to protect yourself and how to use arty without an external calculator. First things first before you jump on a gun. If you want to commit yourself to spend a full round on the arty to help your team out, create an infantry squad, preferably a lock squad if the specific server you play on allows this, and mark your squad as arty. There's multiple reasons why you should be a squad leader on the arty, such as hearing command comms to hear callouts from other squad leaders down the field, access to the map markers where the enemies are marked or mark targets yourself, getting alerted when enemy recon will come to kill you, and of course the best way to see the enemies, the commander's recon plane. Second thing you should do, and this can be done during the staging phase, is protecting yourself by placing your outpost in the back of the middle HQ. And here is an example why.
It's still showing there's dudes in F5.
Enemies here, enemies here, enemies here.
G5.
Enemies here. Enemy recon is here.
You said what's here?
Enemy recon is here.
Where at?
Behind us because my outpost just got deleted. Got him.
Behind the tank, behind the
Got him, got him. In this case, the outpost is not used to spawn on, but it works as an alert beacon in case somebody gets within 50 meters of you and tries to kill you. Being on the arty is spending a lot of time on your map, so if your outposts start lighting up, you can jump off the arty and look for the threat. Now it's time to go on the gun and calculate. There's two ways to calculate how to hit your target. First and easy way is using an arty calculator, such as funletloose.com. I would suggest if you're being very new to the game and very new to the arty, you should use this calculator. Second way is calculating it yourself. At first this can look very overwhelming, but if you look a little deeper into the range and the mill radius, there is a pattern. As we can see on the left side, the distance will increase with 100 meters at a time, while we see on the right side on the mill radius that there's also more or less a steady increase. Every 100 meters, the mill radius will increase with most cases with 24. So if we do the quick math, per 1 mill radius, we increase about 4 to 5 meters. Let's say you have to hit the target about 950 meters. This is 1000 meters minus 50. So if we know that 100 meters is 24 mill radius, we also know that we have to add 12 mill radius to 764, and we have 776 mill radius to hit 950 meters. Same with 925 meters. This is 1000 meters minus 75. 3/4 of 24 is 18. So if we add 18 milliradius to 764, we have 782 milliradius to hit 925 meters. Now that we know how to hit, let's talk about what to mark and hit. In the current game meta, both teams build garrisons on the border of their territory before entering the middle cap. If you're a more experienced player in the game, you can a little bit anticipate where the enemy would build and flow into the point. As for your personal reference to hit certain spots, you place your observe, attack, and move mark on the map. That gives you multiple points where you can switch to, without recalculating the distance every single time you switch targets, especially when these markers are very far apart of each other. When you're actually hitting or shooting a certain mark that you placed, you can place your arty mark next to it to let your team know that you're actually shooting on that mark. A little hint, if you spent the whole round on the arty, you can also write down certain hotspots down on the notepad where a lot of enemies go, so you don't lose time calculating the points all over again if you maybe revisit that point later in the game. There is multiple ways to know when you're actually hitting an enemy, infantry, or a vehicle. Obviously, the main way is to look at the scoreboard and see if the kill count went up. The second way is listening to the hit sound. Arty does have a hit marker that sounds like this. It is really very hard to teach where exactly you should hit the arty, since every game and map is different. As being a squad leader on the arty, you can see what other squad leaders mark on the map for enemy presence. If you have a good squad leader that mark enemies on the correct location, you will have a lot of kills. Enemy strong points is also a good spot to hit, especially when your team is making a push towards a point. Enemies will easily stack up in the trenches close to each other, and you can hit a lot of multiple enemies with one shell. Commander's Recon Plane will also show you where enemies are pushing from. So if you see a whole cluster of enemies, you can send out a couple shells and see if you're gonna hit some marks. Accurately marked garrisons is a good spot to hit for the arty. Not only this would give a possibility for a lot of kills, but it also prevents the enemy to get back to the point or get away from it. If you decide to hit a certain spot, send out 3 shells and wait for the hit markers, so you're not draining to a lot of resources from the commander. Arty takes about 25 seconds to land, and the reload takes about 5 to 7 seconds if you're alone on the gun. This brings a total about 40 to 45 seconds for 3 shells to land. Once you hit your hit marker, you can send out some extra shells. If you're hitting a garrison, you can send out 6 shells to see if you're hitting people that spawn on it. Garrison spawn timer is 40 seconds. Sending out 6 shells will make you at least hit 2 spawn waves on that garrison. If after those 6 shells you don't hit anything, you know they're not spawning on that point and you should stop shooting at that point. Arty uses 3 munition resources per shell. So if you're shooting a lot without hitting anything, you will use up a lot of resources that could be used in a better way. And last but not least, practice. Not one single person is good after the first try. Take your time to learn and practice. I hope you enjoyed this guide. Leave in the comments if you want to see me make a certain guide that you're willing to see. And don't forget to check out my current guides in the description below.